Hi guys, it's been a little while since I did a combat mission after action video, and that's because I've been getting used to the multiplayer. So what I'm bringing you in this series is a game against a human opponent. Up until now you've only seen me go up against the AI, which as I've said before is pretty limited, especially seeing as though this is such a complex game. My enemy this time, however, is really capable of sticking it to me in potentially devious and unexpected ways, and this game is all the more fun for it. So thank you very much to Irish for agreeing to let me record and post this and for playing against me in the first place. Now all I have to do is avoid getting the snot kicked out of me. As you've hopefully worked out by now, this isn't the Ukraine in the near future, this is World War II and combat mission Battle for Normandy. It's a slightly older title, it's a little bit more rough around the edges compared to Black Sea. It came out a fair few years earlier, but it's still damn good fun. I'm playing as the German army, Irish is in the opposite corner with the Americans, and we're fighting a meaty engagement in an urban area. So, what I've got to play with is a reinforced infantry company, led by the company HQ and Hauptmann Hapless. The main fighting strength is going to be my 3 rifle platoons. Each platoon has a HQ element, 3 squads, each of which has a squad leader with a submachine gun, a machine gunner with an MG42 and 7 riflemen, a few of whom have Panzerfausts or semi-automatic rifles, and to round the platoon out, each one has a dedicated anti-tank team with a Panzerschreck. That's the standard rifle company. I also have an attached reconnaissance platoon, which is at about 60% strength, 3 HMG teams, which are MG42s on tripods, 2 81mm mortar teams, a breach team, which is a group of engineers or pioneers with explosives for blowing holes in things like walls and buildings, and a sniper team. I've also got some light vehicles, 2 Kubel wagons and an Opel Blitz truck, and then a Pak 40 75mm anti-tank gun, a little armoured car which has a 20mm cannon and a machine gun, and a small recce half-track. I'll also be getting some armoured reinforcements later on, namely 2 Panzer IVs at 15 minutes and a Stug self-propelled gun at 20 minutes. The enemy force that I'm going to be facing is broadly symmetrical, so I have a pretty good idea of what I'm going to be expecting. This is the map we're going to be fighting over then. You can see that it pretty much consists of large detached buildings surrounded by quite a bit of open space, and there's a few walled off compounds, terraces and bits of parkland mixed in. There are 2 terrain objectives to fight over, one on each side of this railway line which cuts the map in half. My immediate thoughts, knowing that this is a meaty engagement and looking at the map, is that I want to get as far forward as I can with the most troops that I can as fast as I can. I want to rush the seas and control chunks of key terrain before the enemy can, put him on the back foot and force him to attack me on my terms. The 2 chunks of terrain that I want to control here are the railway line to stop the Americans from crossing over to my half of the map. That way I can help free up my forces to go on the offensive instead of hanging around in the other objective, and this huge tenement block here. Holding this is going to help protect my forces covering the railway line, give me a good position to contest the fire objective, and give me a good observation post. As long as I can hold or deny this building to the enemy, it also screens off a lot of my forces on the left and protects them from direct fire and observation from enemy mortars, simply because it's so big. So, my plan to begin with is to pile as many troops as I can into my transport vehicles and rush up the left flank. I want to get my anti-tank gun set up to cut off the railway line as soon as I can. While that's deploying, I'm going to breach the tenement compound wall, get my infantry into the tenement block itself and the surrounding buildings. The ideal state within a few minutes of start is for me to present a solid defence to the enemy on the left and turn the railway line on the right into a kill zone before the bulk of either side's forces move up. Obviously, I'm operating with the unknown here. My opponent might be trying to do exactly the same thing that I am, or I might be able to push further forward into his side. We might see some early firefights, we might not. Whatever happens, I want to stay as aggressive as I can, really try to get forwards in his face throw the enemy off balance, to give me the time and space to bring my footbound forces up. That's it for the time being then, guys. Comment, rate and subscribe. Let me know what you guys would do, what you guys think. It might take a while to get the actual action up, simply because the game's play-by-email system is a very slow burning kind of multiplayer, but stay tuned for some World War II urban warfare.